Hey there, YouTube friends, maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. Welcome back to Uzuri Gardens, and welcome back, Jonty.
Hello.
Hello. We are back for episode 4? Is this episode 4? It's episode 4, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Are you asking me or telling me?
I don't know. I forgot what I was in. Boy, this has been, as you're going to see in this time lapse is all over the place today. I really struggled this week to really get stuff to a level that I was happy with. And you will hold on. You will also notice your shark bait boo-ha-ha restaurant is no longer where it used to be.
Yeah, well, I was going to say a lot of this is my fault because we decided pretty almost instantly at the end of the last episode was like, yeah, that needs to move.
Well, and I was always a little like I tried to work it where it was at, and I didn't want to move it because I was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to start that here in episode 4, moving people's stuff around.
Already.
And,
start Mike sheetsing it up already.
Right, exactly. I didn't want to pull a mic. But it's just after playing around with it and getting some feedback and just being like, okay, it'll be much better if it moves. And it actually, now that it did move, it's a lot. It's going to set up this new area much better, I think. Mm-hmm. So the biggest struggle.
So one thing we
talked
about was that. Sorry, I just want to point out that we kind of. Originally, that restaurant was kind of just be a sort of one-off, like just sort of sitting out on its own.
Right.
But we kind of decided to kind of run with that as a theme into an area, haven't we? So
yeah, exactly.
So I'm assuming I haven't actually seen what Matt's done here, apart from one specific thing that we'll talk about in a moment.
Right.
But I'm assuming we've kind of gone along with this. We're calling it Bayou theme, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
Wood, lots and lots of wood, and kind of ramshack, kind of rundown, kind of thrown together is kind of how I think it, with lots of junk everywhere. That was kind of my go-to.
Flotsam and jetsam.
Yeah,
kinda.
Exactly. Wasn't really thinking strictly Bayou.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like your building was the inspiration, the jumping off point, and then I just kind of went crazy. Had a hard time finding inspirational pictures for this particular style, so I ended up just kind of making it up as I went along. So hopefully you'll like what we did. But I
had a brief look for some Bayou stuff, and there wasn't much. It was mostly like the sort of New Orleans kind of builds instead. There wasn't actually many shack builds.
Right, that's definitely not what we're looking at. But here, if we're curious, this is all going to be backstage now. So this is our backstage area, and we're creating this natural wall of rock.
This is
and
really
foliage.
Spot on terrain work, by the way. It is like really impressive terrain work.
All terrain. There are no and actually Wings and Strings mentions it. You use a really small brush size, so you'll see. I think I'm on 3 feet with a really high intensity, and you can pull out like almost the individual voxels and mess around with them, and then you take a really light brush for smooth it, and it creates this really nice rock work. Not to mention the awesome terrain texture. I mean, that's what it does. It doesn't look really good till you paint it with the rock.
Yeah, that rock texture. Yeah.
And then it's just bamboo as walls. Hashtag bamboo as walls. Because just to block everything out. So yeah, that's kind of how we're going here. And I had to make sure, because I didn't really want to dress up the entire backlot area. That didn't seem to make much sense. You'll notice the backstage area actually has that green. I Googled Disney's Go Away Green.
Away Green, yeah. There's a few people. The first guy, DL Fendel, who used to be huge in the comments of Blanco videos, but has had a bit of a health issue, so he hasn't been around so much. But he was the first guy to teach me about Go Away Green, yeah.
So that's what I did. The backstage area is painted a rough approximation of what they think Go Away Green is, because I guess it's proprietary. They're not spilling the hex codes for Go Away Green. But
So for people who don't know, briefly, just describe what Go Away Green is.
Disney, and I guess Universal, they use this color. It's this kind of muddy green color, and they'll paint their backstage or parts they don't want you to see in this Go Away Green, and it just sort of blends in with everything. Like they said, trash cans too. Like a lot of the trash cans in Disney are this Go Away Green color, and it's just this color that they use to hide what they don't want you to see.
Like an aquamarine almost, isn't it? Because it's the idea is that it blends in with foliage, it blends in with the sky, it blends in with like grey.
Yeah, it's much more gray on the grayer than I thought it was going to be, but at least the hex code I'm using. So, but so that's what we did, and then I tried to make sure that you couldn't really see it with foliage and rock work. So, but you can see where your restaurant ended up. just pushed back a little bit, and we now have a bridge cutting in front of it. And you suggested the wooden bridge, and I think that looks quite nice.
Well, I think from the feedback from the last episode was that the wooden bridge that I did isn't really working, and that area is a bit too sort of grand to be a wooden bridge.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back and redo that as a stone bridge, a temple sort of bridge.
Okay.
Which then opens this area up to be, like I say, the wooden bridge kind of fits more with this kind of shanty kind of thing we're going for.
Yep. And so this empty space here I thought would be, since it is Uzuri Gardens, I kind of wanted to take some time with some planting and actually get some pops of color in there. I mean, this part could totally afford that. So I kind of went hog wild with the color. I had a hard time fitting in some of these bushes, though. Like, either the plants that I want to use, the trees I want to use, are either way too big or way too small. There's very few just perfect sized trees. So.
I've noticed that with the adventure stuff. It's kind of all or nothing, but... This looks great what you're doing here. You can tell you're having fun with this.
Yeah,
because you haven't got to use it much anymore before, you know.
And now here is the corner building. And as far as what it actually is...
I didn't know you'd done this.
I did.
Okay, go on.
I didn't tell you. But we talked about making it sort of a colonial style. And I actually I researched quite a bit, Indian colonial. I figured that would be a good place to start. But... one of the things I always have trouble with is taking real-world buildings and getting them into a theme park scale or style. And after 3 or 4 tries of just trying to make something work, I couldn't get anything. So I actually went back to Islands of Adventure and found a building to use for inspiration. It had a dome, and it kind of looked kind of colonial. And so then I kind of threw in more white and more stucco to kind of give it that colonial vibe. So I kept the basic shape that you provided. Hopefully you'll enjoy where it goes.
Yeah, awesome. There was a really good. Have you given a purpose to the building, or?
I haven't, because you mentioned a theater.
Yeah, somebody in the comments of the last episode, I'm sorry I can't remember who it was, said, how about for this building like a cinema that shows like a little conservational kind of video, you know, like Us and the Land, the sort of thing you get at Epcot or somewhere like that. You know, one of these kind of there's more we can do for our world, and it's got, you know, it shows loads of stock footage of animals and the earth. And that'd be quite a good
I guess my only concern with that idea, and we'll have to think about it, is a theater realistically takes up a ton of space, and they're usually really, really tall. And so since you wanted this to be a big backstage area, like with our animals and stuff, we'll see. If there's room for it, I think that'd be awesome, because we don't have a plan for that. Otherwise, right now it just looks nice. So
it's just a shop front.
Yep. Right now it just looks. I think it looks pretty nice. So you can see my podcast. I've found the joy of listening to podcasts while I play around.
Any recommendations then?
I am really big, and it's old, and people are gonna laugh. It's a Dungeons and Dragons. It's a D&D podcast where they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. So just listen to a game. Yeah,
it's called Not Another D&D podcast. And it's really, really fun. But I also like the soundtrack show quite a bit. If you're into music and movie music, soundtrack show is great. So those are my recommendations.
Cool.
So,
go on. I'll throw a couple out there. Why not?
Ahead.
Most of mine are British ones because, you know, represent.
Right.
There's a really great one called Answer Me This. Whoa, God, you were quick there. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I
sorry, I was filling them because I assumed you were going to do the whole time lapse.
Oh no, I jumped, I skipped. Same thing like you had. Sometimes just didn't record, and then was like, I probably should have been recording this.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that dome.
It's a really. We'll look at it in real time here, but. It's the standard dome technique, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. I wanted to get some of the details on the top of it. So, but anyway, what was your British podcast?
Oh yeah, Answer Me This is really good.
I don't think I know that one.
It's just it's a guy and a girl, 2 guys and a girl actually, and people just phone in or email in with any question they want to know the answer to, and it's a comedy vehicle, you know, but it's, you know, they do some really good stuff.
Awesome.
And then the Parapod is fantastic.
Oh, I don't know that one either.
Which is, again, 2 comedians. One of them is a massive skeptic, and the other one will believe anything. Okay. And each week they approach some sort of either like paranormal, like ghosts, or like a conspiracy theory or something like that. And basically the skeptic just rips into the other guy for half an hour. But that's really good as well. Yeah.
That sounds good. But I loved it. It was so nice to just have something and to listen to, and because I was getting tired of my normal music playlists, so it was nice.
I'll be honest with you, normally when I'm building Planko, I watch other Planko. Like usually this is my time for catching up on other series and stuff.
Easy Mr. Multiple screens.
Well, it's getting trickier to do though, because like we're becoming a bit of a dying breed, us Planko YouTube content creators,
doesn't it? It's us and it's Rudy and
Esdan.
Yeah, he's been doing some guest work recently that's been quite spectacular. So yeah, he's quite good. Actually, back to the time lapse. I'm actually quite. I had a hard time finding what I wanted here for this the end cap here. I really like the roof line. I like that style of roof. That's actually
the mansard roof. Isn't it?
Yeah. But getting an end cap here, I knew what I wanted, and I just couldn't find a piece to make it work. And I finally settled on the little. I love these beams. They're my favorite piece. They're so versatile.
They're really useful because the texture's so plain on them. You can kind of get away with them being metal or concrete or anything really.
Yep. So we're going to jump away from this building and head to the final piece after the final bit. Here we go. So here's where
you've been busy.
Well, this was all done in like 3 days.
Well,
took forever.
This is the thing you see, because we passed back and forth a few pictures to kind of just make sure we're all on the same, wavelength, and just sometimes it's nice to have a new pair of eyes on it, right?
Yep.
This week, pretty much, Mass just sent me the same picture over and over again. Well, the same spot over and over again.
I sent you my dissertation on why your restaurant needed to move.
Yeah.
He woke up. I knew it. And when I did it, you woke up. There were like 17 pictures and like walls of text.
And then all the other things I got was the pool that you can just see to the right there.
Right.
Was us trying to figure out how to get that. And so I'm not I assumed that was it. Like you'd moved the restaurant and built a pool. That was all I was expecting this week.
No. I did try to get a bunch done. I wanted to take my this is going to be my take on the quote bayou theme. Although the more I don't think it's really bayou. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's this ramshackle, this dilapidated, lots of wood, and it doesn't look so hot at first. Like I got to this point, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit on this and let it cook for a while and see if I really like it. But I think it comes together quite nice once it's all said and done. Because right now it looks, I bet I have. Sure, you're like, this is kind of weird.
It looks a bit wacky.
Yeah,
because it's like placed off a little.
No, I've never done that. I trust you. Well, we'll see. I've never done that, so I thought I'd give it a try here. Because the problem I was having is using just straight pieces. It was missing that whimsical, that story tale, like the story vibe, like we have in the entrance area, where we have those nice arches and all the custom shapes, and it was feeling too Planko. So, and here we go. This is after I cut out the part where I was actually talking to you, but here was your suggestion. We did do the manta ray,
manta ray pool.
Stingray pool. Yeah. So you suggested using this. You could see I had a custom one, and it was too tall, and it didn't work. It just didn't work right. So
it was just the problem with the water and the terrain tools, right? That was the issue. You have to get water higher than ground level. You have to kind of build a ring of terrain, and the terrain has to be so thick for the water to register. And
it was it was either have really really deep, where you can't reach in and touch. Or so your idea of using the fountain was fantastic. So it worked really well.
It kind of works, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can catch here and there little stingrays floating around in there. We'll take a look at them. Right now, they're when we get to the real time portion, they'll be practicing their synchronized swimming routine, though.
Nice, so. Yeah. That's one of the only issues I've had with the animals so far. Is you pretty much have to put them onto a display sequence, else they start to look a little bit like the Borg.
You're right. You absolutely have to. So, trying to play around with some new scenery sets here, some more of the World's Fair stuff. Didn't really like the way I wish they came in smaller. I wish everything wasn't 4 height. Yeah. So, but went with this little outcropping here, and then these windows, which are quite large, actually worked so well for dormers.
This is a spooky pack.
Yeah,
window, right?
Yeah. So spooky pack, corrugated roofing, and I thought that felt very, swampy. Like I think it's
Yeah,
getting
we
kind
need
of
to kinda-
fisherman villagey.
Yeah, watery wood
Yeah.
village. Yeah.
Like if that's what our theme is, I guess would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of took it, and I think it still fits with what you did. I think it still fits your restaurant. And like I said, I'm gonna I'm gonna bling out all the watery, all the rigging and all that will be coming as we progress. But
Sure, yeah. And again, I think that's kind of a thing with this whole adventure style in general. Yep. Like, it really pops when you add all the crap on top of it, you know?
So, but our time lapse is just about done. So actually, let's check it out in real time. So, catch you in the real time portion. So we're here in the park real time now, and we're kind of in the stuff we already know. So if we take a walk and head to the right, let's take a look at the little corner building first. So I did redo your path here, actually.
I was just about to say, a little bit of change here.
Yeah. So just a little.
Was that to make this wider on the left, was it?
Yeah,
that was a bit of an issue, wasn't it?
I widened this by quite a bit. And because of that, I did move your little camp scene just ever so slightly. It's still all intact. It's just.
Is the skeleton Easter egg still there? Or did you even spot the skeleton Easter egg?
And he was. Oh, where'd he go? Where is he?
Right a bit.
Yeah, he's.
Oh no, I think he's in the ground.
Oh, he's in the ground. I'll dig him. I'll dig him back out. I did notice it as I was moving it around, so we'll dig him back out. I did this little corner here, just as like a. You put you did the what is it? The statue over there.
Yeah, like
and
yeah.
I think that might be a nice idea to have a bunch of those all over the place, kind of as a theme here. So we have kind of a crushed. Just a little bit of path detail. Good. Yeah, but here's the main.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
That looks fantastic.
Thank you. So you can see the dome there is really...
Look at that dome. That's really great.
Yeah, there's a lot of the vintage filigree.
Yeah, those little floral-y pieces, yeah.
Yeah, it turned out... I was quite surprised with myself there, I must say.
Yeah, that's really good.
But I think that would make a really nice entrance to a theater, for sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. If we could work, like you say, the backstage will take up a fair bit of room. But if we could build almost like a second tier of height of backstage that from here you can't see, the actual sort of show building could come up a little.
Oh, okay.
As long as you couldn't see it from the eye line of this.
Right.
Then you're okay, aren't you?
Yeah, because especially when you zoom in like that, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that, and
That's
we still
really
have
good.
this area here. You said you wanted this to be another view.
Yeah, I just need to tighten that up with the fence and stuff, basically, for the flamingos.
Yep.
I think I very briefly did these foliage bits at the front of this building.
Yeah.
I think looking at that now, that this wooden fence has to go and something a little bit more stone
ornate
to tie into the building, I think, needs to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the placing of them, though. I liked how it frames the central...
To be honest, like usual with these kind of things, it's just where I couldn't get the path to fill in.
Sure.
Oh,
no, I totally get you. But I think it actually does look quite
fits.
nice here. I like it. So that was after I hit my stride, so... But
awesome.
You can see this now is all new. This actually goes... to a bunch of new
this
stuff.
Looks much better, yeah.
So.
I think originally, like you said, the problem here was when you put this path in, you didn't think it was going to head into a park.
No, I did not.
And
I thought we
would
be going this way. So when you put this here, it was very, very, and it was narrower. So I widened it, like I said, and we need to put the benches back and stuff. But other than that, and this is our backstage access, our main backstage access. So
that could be a character point as well. You could throw in a character there pretty easily.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Because they usually nip off into little backstage areas like that, don't they?
Right. And then I wanted you to not really see a full view here. Like you kind of just get the, it's covered by the foliage here. It's not really fully revealed until you. So there you go.
So you get around here, yeah.
So this is the new
Master,
spot.
I'm really impressed with the terrain and foliage work here.
Oh, thanks.
Like, really good.
Here, we'll zoom in a little bit.
Yeah,
but like I said,
so
a lot of that's just how great the texture is already, you know? So, so this is your new... And we'll take a look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think we saw the bridge, did we?
No. Not the finish. So I just threw that together real quick. So, but you get, and I do like how you can't really see it. You got to keep walking around here to get to it.
I like the sort of really sort of almost like penned in feel.
Yeah, well, I was talking,
really
as I was pulling a mic, I was actually talking to Mike. And one of the things he brought up was Disney's really good about making sure that the people, when they're eating, are not in view of people. walking by.
Oh, okay.
Like it's secluded. So now we've got our shark bait entrance here. And I think I've never looked at this view. Like you can see the dome from there.
Yeah, look.
That's actually kind of nice.
It's a real nice depth.
It's feeling kind of lush here with the tree and all that. But our seating area is now back here. And again, you've just got this nice secluded spot with all the trees and the
look
foliage.
At that. So you left the path for me to fix.
You said to.
I did. I did say, if you move it, I'll sort the path out.
Alrighty. So there you go. The only thing is, like, if we can, I left the shark, and I think that's probably going to end up going after the comments.
Yeah.
But I want
comments
this
were relatively 50-50. I think the only thing I will say is that a lot of people thought it was a real shark. And I thought it would be obvious that it would be like a plastic one,
right?
But still, I wanted to know the thoughts of people, So
yeah, it's tricky. Yeah. So, but that's where it's at now, and
yeah,
I think it's pretty good. I think it works.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And so now let's look at the Stingray Pool before we look at the final. So, did some stuff here with the Stingray. So now we have a path coming around.
All this terrain variation, man. You're killing it with that,
I am
man.
so not used to that. Oh, I didn't get rid of my archer again. There's your archer to prove that it's in scale. Everything I looked at, the Stingray pools had cover. I don't think we want the Stingrays getting fried. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So we have it. It's fairly small, but I don't mind it. You can reach in and you can pet them, and there they are. See, they're practicing their synchronized
stingrays. Yeah.
These are by Deadeye Duck, correct? I think these are a Deadeye Duck creation. So they swim around inside the tank. They're in an 8-meter circle, and that's.
I don't think it is 8 meters.
No,
I don't think it is 8 meters because I made an 8-meter pool when we were having a few issues with this, and an 8-meter pool was
too small.
Huge.
Oh, really?
No, huge.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm, but I don't know. Actually, maybe the terrain tool 8 meters. It's a radius, not a
it might be.
diameter.
It might. Oh, maybe.
Because actually, looking at this, it's two floor panels across, right? As far as the game is concerned.
Roughly, yeah, more or less.
So maybe it's that then. Yeah.
This could use some more love and attention. I actually threw the cover on about 10 minutes before we started. So
okay.
But and then the last thing here is that dilapidated sushi building.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with the way this turned out.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right. Those like crypt windows, they work there. Yeah. They just look like good dormer windows, really. That kind of fit in with the theme.
And I love the lanterns, kind of hinting at the color scheme of the area a little. The only thing is the seating area does not actually connect. It's at least not from this way. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. But I kind of dig this with the sushi sign. Like if we come down here, you can see the sushi from down here. I love that view.
That's great.
I think that's really fun. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be busy and kind of over the top. So that was my idea of this style. So
yeah, no, I think it looks really good. And I think again, those lanterns just any way we can bring a bit of color in because again with this theme, it's although it's different colors from the main street. It's still
wood.
It's quite dry. Yeah. It's woods and like almost like. Well, you're gonna have to help me out because I'm struggling a little bit with these colors. But
they're
it's like blues and purple.
There's some very light blues and some light greens. Just faded wood is what I was going for here. So I think the caterwampusiness didn't become as crazy. Once the rest of the structure was in, it's clear.
Yeah, no, it's subtle once the rest of it's in.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, and it's just a QSR, so it's just a stand up. A walk-up place, so you got your sushi next to the stingrays. I thought that was funny. So
throw a bit in for them.
Right. So there you go. Oh no, I'm gonna have that too. One of my plans was to have a buy your $3 of basket of dead fish, and so you can feed them. So have you ever done that?
Yeah.
You fed stingrays. I have
times,
too. God, it freaked me out as a little kid.
It's pretty. Nick, it's one of my wife's favorite things in the world to do.
Really?
Is feed. They're usually go on. We talked about this in that group.
Cow-nosed.
We have a little cow-nosed manta rays. Yeah, not manta rays. Stingrays. Cow-nosed stingrays. We have a little group of minions who make animals now for us.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I mean, they're doing a fantastic job, but we have a little Discord group where we can go and suggest things now that we would like to see. So this was actually one that we went and suggested, wasn't it? We said we would love some stingrays because we kind of feel they fit with the sort of watery shack kind of feel.
Yep.
The only thing I will say, I do think it needs a bit more work because these pools very often have a second pool that they can come away into.
Okay.
So that they rotate them through the day, so they're not always being bothered by people.
Okay. Good to know.
And then also if there's any babies or ill ones. Again, I've read a PDF.
I did not.
So I mean, if you want me to kind of have a little mess with that on my turn, I'm kind of happy to do that.
Yeah, that might be good. I think
like scenery wise, I won't really mess with it, but
I think it would be good to send it if I back behind this, put
yes,
it here.
I think so as well. Yeah, and basically what you could do is with some sort of rock work and foliage, you kind of build up a natural barrier, you know. So the second, it's it's visible, but you can't get to it, you know.
Yeah, so there you go. That was my week in a nutshell. I wanted to do more, but I'm actually pretty happy with the way it turned out.
You've done much more than I expected. And to be honest, as amazing as the buildings are, just the terrain and the foliage is what's really impressed me today, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Those terrain changes and all this is really
well,
good.
the terrain changes force your hand with the foliage. You have no choice but to make nice planters when you're dealing with this much terrain change.
Well, that's it, because you've got to stick something in the gaps, right?
Right, and it works. And I like this tree right here. It's silly, but to create this canopy, I really like that. There's some shade on the paths.
Yeah,
that feels very zoo to me. So
yes, heavy foliage I think is definitely something we'll push forward. I just love how bits of the buildings are sort of peeping out. So can we come out of Tejikam a sec and sort of have a look an overview? Because I can't quite place where a lot of that is, to be honest.
Alrighty, so you can see here's the corner building. And then here is your restaurant was right here. But now we have this whole secluded bay for your restaurant. Yeah. And you can see I've really taken to making it super green all around.
Yeah, really.
And our border
good.
of the park is right here, basically.
Okay.
And then,
so I see that you've blocked in the walls for the buildings there. On the backstage there.
That's just more of this is the building that.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. The actual sort of buildings themselves, you've blocked in the rear walls.
Oh yeah. I have not actually put any backstage.
That's fine. So are you thinking that this green space here, then that's going to be some staff parking, a couple of
it could be whatever
stuff,
it could be whatever we want it to be, with just a simple adventure fence and another row of bamboo.
Yeah.
So a loading area of some kind. Have a big gate right here. That's kind of my thoughts.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Right. So
that's
and
really
you can
great.
see over here. Here's the Stingray Pool in better.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
So
how you sort of tied it right into the area we've already got working on as well. Yeah.
That was the plan. So I know we were talking about extending maybe some fancy, fast-paced stuff over here.
Well, yeah, we're not going to say too much just yet.
Nope.
But I think, we're pretty sure that coaster number 1 is going to be over there somewhere.
Over here somewhere.
Sort of,
over in this area.
Maybe towards the left a little. So it's not over near here. Because we're going to carry the zoo off to the right, I guess.
Right.
So over there.
Over here.
Yeah, that sounds good. And what else should we say? It's neither of us are building it. Let's just say that.
There you go. That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah.
So cool. All right.
This is awesome. So that building you've done there with the sushi, are you thinking that's going to be quite a standalone building, or do you expect it to sort of come around the back of the
I think I want it to come around, have something here. Something, maybe another restroom here would be good, because we've only got the one. So
that's a good idea. So a restroom, and then that goes into the sort of the Ray feeding and
Ray feeding
kind of area.
And I think hand washing. Good call. Yeah. See, you've read a PDF, like you said.
Sure have. Yeah, love my PDFs.
Yep. And then I was thinking it would, because it exits here, maybe have another path exiting here to kind of make it this little sub arch here, and then
I think so.
Do some other things.
And then we go off to do whatever's up there. Yeah.
I did put in a cotton candy or a candy floss, if you will, but I'm assuming this is in the US.
Yeah, I think it'd be cotton candy. A few people have asked where it is. We haven't actually settled anywhere, just somewhere warm, because we're building the exhibits as if it's somewhere warm. So, yeah, but we haven't really specified. It could be in Florida, I suppose. This could be.
Why not?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's where we're at currently.
That's awesome. See, it still looks like nothing, doesn't it?
I know.
Isn't that crazy? Like, if
But
you
to be
actually
fair,
zoom into the whole map, like, it is nothing.
Like,
you can't even get the whole map in.
There we go. There's the whole map.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not.
No,
that
it goes
I think
all
is
the way
the
up.
whole map.
That's the width.
There, that's
of
the whole map.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wow.
But hey, 4 episodes. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It looks awesome.
All right.
I really like the. So, talking about next episode, there isn't going to be an episode on my channel next week because I'm actually away at a conference. So we're going to carry on with the full episode. So episode number 5 will be 2 weeks from now on Geekism. But we've suggested that, like, if Mass wants to come and have a play, he might stick out a 4.5, I guess, next week.
Yep, might do it, or
but we're gonna,
maybe do a live stream. Maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. No, next week's my really.
No, you're
busy
not
week
around,
as well.
are you either? So we're both.
No,
yeah.
but there'll be
if you
something. It might just be tidying up.
Yeah, if that, or the next full episode will be over on Geekism.
Yeah, absolutely.
In 2 weeks.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, I look forward to whatever comes next week then. Whatever the 4.5
I've got ideas. I think this kind of this collaboration thing, man, it fills you with ideas, doesn't it? Like,
I know.
Like seeing other people's stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Just want to go in and add on to it.
Yep. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I will see you then for episode number 5 on your channel.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us. So have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you for the next one. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.